Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday. Yes, I'm still in South Carolina. We drive home tomorrow. Uh, so, couple of pieces of interesting news come out over the weekend, and one typical gets buried, and the other one is kind of important that has been happening for a couple of days. But start with the one that got buried. If y'all didn't see this, a federal judge in California has basically said that Californians, yes, the decades old law on banning assault weapons is unconstitutional. Okay. Uh, Judge Robert Benitez, who was appointed by George W. Bush, has said basically Californians go buy them. They can't stop you. And as his quote in his ruling came out this week, government is not free to impose its own new policy choices on American citizens where constitutional rights are concerned. California may certainly conceive of a policy that a modern rifle is dangerous in the hands of a criminal, and that therefore it's good public policy to keep modern rifles out of the hand of every citizen. However, the Second Amendment stands as a shield from government imposition of that policy. Now, this is a very good thing. This is another crack in the gun grabbers deal here. So, this is good news. Now, inevitably, California is going to appeal this. It's going to go to the Ninth Circus, which inevitably Ninth Circus is about as liberal as you can get, even though Trump appointed some judges there. And so it'll eventually wind up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully SCOTUS will sit there and say, yep, it's still the Second Amendment. So do there. But, you get into the liberal batshit Looney Tunes here, Gavin Newsom, the jackass who runs California, okay? The fact that this judge compared the AR-15, a weapon of war that's used on the battlefield, lie, AR-15s are not military issue. Hate to tell you this, Newsom. Learn something about weaponry before opening your pie hole, okay? To a Swiss Army knife completely undermines the credibility of this decision and is a slap in the face to families who lost loved ones to this weapon, okay? Well, like I said, Gavin, military doesn't use AR-15s, use M16s, completely different weapon. Kind of looks the same, doesn't work the same. Okay, so there's that. But you want to talk, based on your logic there, Gavin, why don't we outlaw cars in California? Because you know what? More people die in car accidents than die in gun accidents every year in California. So let's get rid of that. Why don't we go back and put prohibition in? Because alcohol kills more people than guns do in California every year, too. Oh, while we're at it, why don't we ban tobacco? Oh, yeah, same thing. Okay, Gavin, I hate to tell you this. Your arguments have no credibility whatsoever. First off, you don't even know the definition of what you're talking about. And second off, I can come up with half a dozen off the top of my head things that cause more death than an AR-15. So, have fun. You're going to lose again. Like every good liberal, you should get used to it because you haven't had a good idea ever. So that's that. But on the same topic, okay, if we want to get into this, is if y'all saw what's going on in the lovely city of Minneapolis again, okay? And we have another incident where a law enforcement officer has shot a black man, okay? Now, here's the difference. I know Google and Yahoo and the media and everything is going to say, it's just another George Floyd case. Okay, no. Here's the difference. George Floyd got stopped because he passed a counterfeit $20 bill. Okay, I'm not going to get into whether or not Derek Chauvin was excessive force or whatever it is. That's not what this place. I want you to understand this one that has also brought rioting, looting, burning down buildings, breaking into a T-Mobile store and stealing all the phones, etc., etc., etc. This guy, Winston Boogie Smith Jr., okay, was shot by federal marshals. Now, let me explain something to you. First off, he was a wanted fugitive who was being pursued because of federal charges against him, then also pulled a gun on the federal marshals, and the federal marshals fired back. Okay, yeah. So, little difference between being a federal fugitive who pulls a gun on a federal marshal and trying to pass a $20 counterfeit bill. Neither one of them are correct. I will agree there. Okay, but I have no pity. I have no pity for either one of them. I certainly have no pity for this guy. So now, of course, there's, his friends and his family start this vigil, and, you got people calling for justice and the crowd to say his name. I will. Dead criminal. That's his name. Okay. Good. I'm glad the dude's 6 feet under. We need less people like him. Okay. Now, maybe we'll get lucky this time, but this is going to be a big test of the Potato administration here. Because remember, Potato and the whore, they were, hey, we'll pay the bail for anybody. This is Kamala Harris. Remember last year, she wanted to pay the bail for anybody who was rioting and looting in Minneapolis last year. Well, now they're the ones in power. Let's see how this turns out. Are they going to pander again and say, gee, anybody that's burning down the businesses or beating on people or, threatening to kill cops, all this sort of stuff. Now that you're the one in the White House, are you going to say, sure, go ahead, it's open season on police? Or are you going to do the right thing like Trump did, okay, and tell all these rioters, looters, burners, and everything, the BLM morons, tell them, here's your choice, either go home or go to jail. That's actually what needs to happen. So I want to see what, Jello brain there, and, hi, all I can do is do this. So I couldn't see that, but you get the idea. What they figure out how to do. Because personally, we're going to see if he's a coward or if he's a hypocrite. Because those are his two options. Okay, neither one are good. So this is where we're going to see 46 backpedal all over the place. Either he's a coward and lets the rioters do everything they want and basically says, okay, we're an anarchist country, or he's a hypocrite and sends in the National Guard, tells the police to start arresting people and everything, which he would, called Trump a bad guy for. All right. So we'll see what happens. But this is what we have to look forward to, guys. This is where I keep saying the U.S. is going to shit, because you have a federal criminal who gets shot and killed. Good, okay, and he's the good guy. But the federal marshals who apprehended, although as a corpse, the bad guy, they're the bad guys. Welcome to liberal logic. Have a good Sunday. Pinball out.